Welcome back to Meg's Mysteries. Kindred spirits. Definition of kindred spirits: like-minded and like soul. People with whom an instant connection of love and understanding is mutually experienced. Okay, this is not that kind of kindred spirit. This story is about two ghosts that live in my hotel, and we were far from kindred spirits. We were more like two mischievous spirits and one non-believer. Until now. I'm Melinda Collins. I inherited this old abandoned 1900 hotel from my great-uncle, Christopher Collins. The family had it in its heyday when it was a popular Boston hotel. Now abandoned for many years, but still in our family. Why it was never sold or torn down, I don't know why. Until now. The terms of the will stated I could not sell it. I had to live there for 1 year and try to open it up again and make it the best hotel around. When I saw it, I was amazed that it looked as good as it did. A little fixing up, and it wouldn't take much to open. But do I really want to live there and do all this work? Well, I didn't have a choice. It was that or give it all up. I was between jobs anyway. What could it hurt? So my two cats, Sam and Pete, and my Great Dane, Brutus, moved in. It's only for a year, I told them, and what a year it was. The first time Sam and Pete walked in, I knew something was up. The hairs on their backs stood up, and they started to hiss. Brutus cowered in the doorway. I had to push his big butt in, and that was no easy task. I said, "You're all scaredy cats, and yes, even you, Brutus." I finally managed to get them all in and settled down, but they were not happy. I said, "It's not so bad. Old, but kept up well." I saw from the glances they all exchanged they were not convinced. The movers moved some of our things in, but we didn't have to take much. It was all furnished with antiques. All we needed was my clothes and the cat and dog supplies, their toys and their beds. The movers did a fast job as they could. Then they were out of there. I heard one of the workers say, "It's just too creepy in here. Let's hurry up and get out." I told Sam and Pete and Brutus, "It's only us now." But I saw them look around, and Brutus started to whimper. Then the cats took off and hid. Oh well, we'll all get used to it. The next day I put an ad in the paper for a maid or two, a porter, and also a front desk person. I'll manage the place myself. I have experience in management. The ad said, "Hotel staff needed, great pay, and live-in accommodations." I get many calls, but when they came by for the interview and saw the hotel, they all took off and never came back. One girl said, "This is creepy. I was waiting for the interview in the lobby, and something touched my shoulder. I was all alone in there." I told her it must have been one of my cats. They like to rub up against people sometime. She said, "No, it was a cold tap on my shoulder. Then I looked around and no one was there." And then she just ran out. I asked the cats, "Did you scare her?" They just looked at me and was like, "Not us." I thought, at this rate, I'll never get this place up and running without any help. The next day, I had a full staff. I said, "Boy, this is my lucky day." Two sisters applied for the maid spot, Shirley and Maisie Cummings, and their cousin Billy Cummings for the porter job, and also Mr. O'Keefe for the desk man's position. I hired them all on the spot. They all loved the hotel for years, they said. The girls told me they passed it every day going to school and always wanted to come in, even though it was closed up. Mr. O'Keefe said, "My great-granddad worked here as a bellboy in the day. He used to always talk about the place, and I always wanted to work here myself. I felt like I belonged here as soon as I walked in." I was happy at last. We all fit in perfectly, and we were getting ready to have the grand opening in a few weeks. I also hired a cook, kitchen staff, a waiter, and two waitresses, even a bartender named Joe. They will all live off-site because they had their own homes, so I gave them a little extra pay. Then things started to happen. Things began to disappear and reappear in different rooms, and many of the dining staff said they felt like something or someone was with them in the room, but they were all alone at the time. I saw myself something on the staircase as I was going up to my room for the night. The cats ran and hid. Brutus was always cowering in the corner, and he wouldn't go up the stairs. When I yelled, "Who's there?" they just disappeared. Then in my room, in the mirror reflection, I saw a lady dressed in a silk gown and a man in a tux behind her. But I was all alone in my room. Startled, I said, "Who are you and what are you doing in my room?" And then they faded in and out. Then I got mad and said, "Is this a joke? I don't believe in ghosts or spirits or whatever you want to be called." The woman laughed and said, "We are no joke. My name is Melanie, and this is my brother Patrick. We belong here. We just love the place. We lived and we died here." I said, "How did that happen? What?" She said, "It was a New Year's party, and I fell down the staircase. My own fault. I had a little too much to drink. I was holding on to Patrick, and we both fell, and that was that." Patrick said, "A little too much. You finished a whole bottle of expensive champagne, and then my glass of brandy. But I can't blame you. I was tipsy myself. I told you we should have taken the elevator." Melanie said, "So you got two spirits for the price of one." Patrick said, "Well, spirits did us in, didn't it? Get it? Spirits, like booze." "We love it here, and we will never go." I said, "That's not funny at all." And then he said, "We love it, and now that you're opening it up again, we love it more. We can play tricks on a guest. Every old hotel needs a couple of poltergeists around to make it interesting." I said, "Oh, brother, the cats and Brutus were right." Melanie said, "Yes, animals do see us. Now do you believe? Now we all can get along. You need to stay, and we want to stay. The others on the staff that live here all see us, too." I said, "How's that possible?" Patrick told me the girls, Maisie and Shirley, always peeked in on their way to school, and we became friends. They told Billy, and he met us, too. And as for Mr. O'Keefe, Thomas, as we call him, his great-granddad was one of our friends from the start. When we died, he was a young bellhop here, and we used to play tricks on him and some of the guests. But we became friends when he accepted us. So I called a staff meeting of the live-in workers. The others never need to know about our special friends. They don't stay long anyway, but we always get more employees to fill their spots because the money is so good, until they get scared and then they leave in a rush. Melanie and Patrick promised not to scare any more staff. We all agreed to stay together, and we are now open again. Some of the guests do get a scary experience, but I tell them there's no extra charge. It comes with the place. We are now known to be the hot spot for ghost hunters and those who believe. The Kindred Spirit Hotel is now open for 10 years and still going strong. There's always room if you'd like to join us at the best haunted hotel around. We'll keep the lights on for you. Well, I hope you liked that story. Come back for more of Meg's Mysteries. Until next time, have a good evening.